Hey guys, as you could tell by my intro, I don't know if anyone knows that song or that band, but it's Paramore. And that was Ain't It Fun by them, and I decided to make my own book tag, I guess. I don't know if it was already made. I tried looking for it, but they were all in a different language, and so I decided to just think of my own questions or statements and put songs and books together. So why don't we get started? The first song is Decode, which is from the Twilight movies, if you haven't known. And it's a book where you thought you knew a character, but you didn't. And so the first book I chose, well, technically it's all of the series, but it's just this one that I found. And it's The Titan's Curse, and the character is Selena, which, if you haven't read, I'm not gonna spoil it for you. But Titan's Curse by Rick Riordan. The next song is Brighter, which is a character who has been through a big experience out on the top at the end. And the characters that come to mind when I thought of this was Clary, Katniss, Percy Jackson, Triss, Maximum Ride. But I chose Juliet from Shatter Me because she was just like so heartbroken and everything when she was in jail in the first book, and then she was like, throughout the rest of the series, she's just like, I just want to kick some ass. So this is Juliet from Shatter Me by Tahira Mafi. The next song is Moving On, which is an interlude in their new album, and it's a book series that has ended that you can't move on from. And the book that I chose, Maze Runner, because I read all of them, and yes, I read all of them, that's kind of obvious, but I read the Maze Runner, then I waited a while to read the Scorched Trials, and then Death Cure, because I got the Death Cure for Christmas, and then I was like, I didn't realize it was a trilogy. I told you the story, and so I can't get over it though, and I need to move on from it, but I can't. So, The Maze Runner, and they're making the second book to the trilogy a movie. So, yeah. Next song is Escape Route, which is a book series that you'd like to continue, not based on the first book. So a first book that you hated, but you wanted to go on with the series. And that book is The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I don't know why. I just did not at all enjoy this, but I'm gonna give it another try, another reread, and read the next 3-4 books in the series. I don't know how long it's going for, but anyway, I'm gonna give this one another go because it is In the Morning, a book that made you sad or cry. Now I have 2 for this one, and they're like remotely different, so I'm sorry for this. And it's Salt and Storm, which is my favorite book right now, by Kendall Culper, and it had a sad ending for me. I almost cried. I was reading this in the car, and my dad and my brother were in the car, and I had tears in my eyes, and just such a beautiful book. I loved it so much. And if you've seen me talk about it, it's because this is my favorite. So, this is Salt and Storm. And the next one, I'm pretty sure everyone's like, yep, pretty obvious. And it's Allegiant by Veronica Roth. The fact that it was the last in the trilogy got me sad when I started reading this when it first came out. And then I got to the end, and I'm going to do a total river type thing from Doctor Who. And I'm going to say spoilers, because I'm not going to spoil it for you. But the ending made me cry, and for those of you who have read it, you know why. The song is That's What You Get, which is one of their well-known ones too, is the book series that you loved became a movie that you disliked. And everyone I know, all my friends know I hate this movie so much, but I read the book. Like, you can tell by how many times I've read it that it was my favorite. And it's the Percy Jackson and the Olympians, the Lightning Thief. Like, look at this spine. I don't know what happened to it. I just was reading it too much. I think I read this over like 20 times. Yeah. So you can even tell, like, look how old it is. It's all ripped and bent and broken, and but like, that's how many times I've read it. And the movie was terrible. They even tried to make the Sea of Monsters a little bit better, but it was terrible. I'm sorry to those people who made them, but I'm sorry. So bad. And the last book thing is I Caught Myself, which is a book that you were somewhat pressured to read, and you loved it anyway. And that book for me, and it became one of my favorites. It's on my favorite shelf actually, and it's Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. As most of you know, I got this for Christmas and I read it within a day. And I'm gonna read it again because I am in my senior year of high school and I'm gonna read this before college starts, and I'm gonna bring it with me to college. So I actually be going through what Kath is going through, and it's like it's one of my favorites. And recently, I think it was Rainbow Rowell said that they were making Eleanor and Parker movie, but I was like, why not Fangirl? It's every teenage girl's life. Just saying. So, yeah. Fangirl. Yeah. That was the Paramore book tag. I tagged Lee. He originally was the Human Library. So I tagged Lee, and this was the Paramore book tag, the Paramore song book tag. And I hope you enjoyed this video, so, yeah. Thanks. Bye. Guys, I was wondering, should I change my username? So, comment below, please. Because I'm not sure, and I don't know what I should do, so, yeah, comment down there. Okay? How am I gonna do this? Yeah.